story from a sectional many, many years ago in St. Louis where I was defending a 4-heart hand. And the game made, and I felt like we should have set it. And I made the mistake of asking my partner at the end, I said, "Did we have a way to beat that?" And his response was, "Yeah, you could not signal with the setting trick." That's a good way to shut somebody up, by the way. I had nothing to say after that. Oops. Shouldn't have done that. It was a card I thought I could afford, but it turned out that it was a high enough spot that it was getting promoted. And it may have only been an 8 or a 7, but it was high enough. So yeah, so very simple. Standard carding. High card encourages, low card discourages. And this applies to the suits that your partner is leading. So when declare is attacking one of their suits, we're not giving attitude. We're not telling declare how we like their suit. We're telling partner whether or not we like partners. So keep that in mind. Attitude applies to the suits we are leading as defenders. Now, count can apply to suits that we're leading, but count will also apply to suits that declare it. And the main idea here is we're trying to give partner count. Now, as we'll see a little bit later in our count example, I think count ends up being more important in no trump. Not that it isn't important when you're defending suit contracts, because it can be very important when you defend suit contracts. But the idea here is that aside from certain situations where count is critical, if you see a signal from partner and you're not sure, well, is partner trying to give an attitude signal or is partner trying to give a count signal? If there's any doubt, I would default to attitude. So if we say, and you can mark this on your convention card too. There's a little underneath your defense box with all your leads and carding and all that. It says primary signal, and you can check attitude, count, and suit preference. If you feel like your partnership uses one type of signal much more than the others, I would probably check attitude. That would be my recommendation. I just think that's going to work best for you. But our count signals, and this takes to confirm true count, we can usually get an idea from the first card that partner plays. But sometimes it takes a full, what we call an echo. In other words, you have to play a first card and a second card before it becomes clear. Because we're either playing a higher spot card followed by a lower spot card the next time the suit is led, or we start with a low one and we play a high one. So if we high-low, we show an even number in this. And if we start with a low card and then play a higher card, we have an odd number. And usually that is enough for partner to figure out how the suit distributes around the table with what's in the dummy and how the bidding is gone. Obviously, if you're leading a suit that declare has shown two other suits, we can expect the declare is probably short in the suit that you're leading, right? So there's some deductions that you can make there. So sometimes you can read that echo right away. If I lead king and you are giving me count and your first card is the 8, that sure looks like it's the beginning of a high-low, and it looks like you are showing me either 2 or 4 cards in that suit, right? If in fact it is a count signal. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so if you're playing upside down, those are reversed.
And if we play upside down, just like we did with attitude, we just flip the meanings. So high-low now shows an odd number, and low-high shows an even number.
So you lead low from a double tip.
No, these are not leads. Remember, separate leads and carding.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Keep leads out of it for today, because what we're doing is we're signaling the partners. So, and one thing I would tell you, I see a lot. There's a mistake that I see a lot of people make if you do decide to take on upside down. I see people try to play upside down attitude while playing standard count. It doesn't work. They are incompatible. You either play attitude standard across the board, or excuse me, you either play standard signaling, count and attitude, or you play upside down for count and attitude. So let's say partner has this holding, ace, king, X. And they lead the ace, defending a suit contract, right? And you're sitting over here with the 8 and the 3. So if partner has led the ace from ace, king, and let's say dummy has 3 cards in that suit, so you know dummy's gonna have to follow to the third round. You may be thinking, ooh, I get a rough the third round, right? Let's encourage and tell partner to play the king and then play another and give me a rough. Okay, so how does your carding go in standard? You play the 8, right? Partner plays the ace, they see your 8, which says, yeah, keep it coming. And then they play the king and you follow with the 3. You have now completed your echo, as we call it. You've made your high-low, and partner sees that as, oh, that looks like a doubleton. That means if I play one more, partner's gonna rough. Maybe we rough out declares queen that we can't see, right? Okay, so partner plays the third round and you rough, great. So if you ask yourself the question, back at trick 1, well, when I led that ace and partner produced the 8, were they giving me attitude or were they giving me count? The answer is both, right? Because yes, you like that lead because you knew you were roughing, so you were giving positive attitude, but you were also giving accurate count. If you play standard attitude but upside down count, and you play the 3 or something like that, this could muddy the issue. Partner might get this wrong, right? So this is why they need to be consistent. So I would either recommend playing standard across the board or upside down across the board. But don't try to do the two together. It's going to create problems, especially if you didn't sit down and talk about partner. Okay, in this situation, in this lead, we're giving an attitude signal trick 1, but in this situation, we're giving a count signal trick 1. That's too hard. So let's not complicate it unnecessarily. So you want to use your signals that work together, so that whether partner interprets it as attitude or interprets it as count, they're right. Which is what you want. Defense is too hard. Don't make it any harder for partner than it already is.
Kirk, could you say again with upside down and count? What did you say?
Well, so let's say you were playing. Let's say the same situation came up and you were playing and your signaling was upside down, right? So in that case, when partner leads the ace, do you want to encourage? Say, yeah, okay, so following with the 3 the first time rather than the 8, if you were playing upside down, would say, yeah, partner, I'd like you to continue. You are also beginning a low-high in upside down, which shows an even number rather than the odd number that it would show if you were playing standard, which is also accurate, right? Because you have 2 of them. So, it's just about consistency. That's what we're after here.
So when we were beginning, we always heard high-low with a doubleton. So you sort of throw that out when you're doing this, don't you? I mean.
Well,
it's
no.
the same
All you're
thing
doing is,
here.
if you're playing upside down, you are simply flipping the meaning.
Right.
Everything is opposite. If you're doing upside down.
So if that hand had 3 cards, like 8, 3, and a 4 or something. then-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's add another card. 8, 4, 3. All right. Well,
Do you want me to play 4 first?
so are we giving? Do we want to encourage or discourage? Now we may need the context of an entire hand to decide, right? Just looking at one suit alone, okay. if we are encouraging, theoretically, if we're encouraging in standard carding, we'd play the 8, right? However, if we played the 8 and then followed it with a small one, partner would read that as a doubleton, probably, right? On the other hand, if we play the 4 first, we now have the luxury the next time of playing either the higher or lower card, right? So we could give accurate count, but would we be sending the wrong message about whether we want to encourage or discourage? So this is where it gets to be important of what is our signal to trick one. And so my feeling is, if you're going to encourage, and let's say we're playing standard signals. Partner leads the ace. Okay, you don't have anything in that suit, nor are you roughing. But let's say you don't want partner leading anything else. Right now, don't want partner switching to another suit. That could be really bad. Let's just go ahead and stay on this road. Okay. So then partner plays the king, and you follow. And then they play another, and they think you're roughing, but you're not roughing. Well, they're gonna, at that stage, they're gonna figure out the count, and they're gonna know, oh, okay, you were encouraging because this was the continuation least likely to give anything away. Right? So, you're gonna be in situations where where it is gonna be important. Where you've got you and your partner want to be on the same page as are we giving attitude or are we giving count? In theory, you can do both, but if to give accurate count, you might be giving an unclear attitude signal, then I would worry about giving the right attitude signal and not worry about it.
Kurt, I'm puzzled. Are you referring to the suit that on the opening lead or the declarers?
Yeah, we're talking about opening lead because all of our attitude signals are.
But the declarer does not make the.
No. This is when your side as defenders makes the opening lead. Once declarer gets in and they start leading their suit, we're not worried about attitude. That's where we would start giving count. And then there is some good discussion of this in the Hall book if you have it, where they give you a little more detailed assistance with that sort of thing. But like I said, I think if you focus mostly on attitude, at least for now, and then we can always mix in, or we'll infuse a couple of key situations where you definitely want to be giving accurate count, and then hopefully you'll be able to recognize those exceptions where count becomes important. But I want you to feel like you can rely on attitude signals because I do think that's going to be easiest for you. Now, we also have another type of signal, and this is suit preference. Sometimes we run into a situation where neither count nor attitude are useful. If I lead an ace of a suit, we're defending a suit contract, by the way, and I lead the ace, and now here comes the dummy, and dummy has a singleton in that suit. Is attitude important? We don't care whether a partner likes it or not, because if we continue that suit, they're just going to rough in the dummy, right? So attitude's not very important. Is count important? Probably not that important, right? We all know what's going on in this suit. If we continue it, they're roughing. We are not taking another trick, right? So this is an opportunity to introduce this third signal, which is suit preference. And this actually came out for us today. My partner led the ace, and dummy came down with a singleton in that suit. And dummy had a whole bunch of trumps. Trumps galore. So we needed to find another switch. So you can give partner some assistance. And this will be more clear when we look at example hand. But basically what you'll be doing with this signal is guiding partner which suit to switch to. And so we just need to, we have these alarm bells going off of, oh, time to switch, and then now we look at the signal and figure out what should we switch to. So that's what your suit preference is. Now, you will find some partnerships that use suit preference in a lot of other places. For our purposes, I think it'll work best if it's just a couple of key situations. 2 situations in particular, which we just mentioned. You make a lead, Singleton and Pearson, Dunning, and we're defending a suit contract. This is a situation that screams suit preference. And by the way, unlike attitude and count, suit preference does not change at all with upside down or standard carding or upside down carding. It's its own thing.
Okay, I understand this, but when you have a bust hand, I've got one hand, what am I gonna do?
Well, hopefully the bidding and partner's hand will suggest to your partner that you can't possibly have much.
Okay.
And look, sometimes you have nothing. Sometimes you signal ambiguously.
Makes a 6.
Yeah. What answer? Somebody. You don't scream for one type of lead or another, right? If you have control, again, if you have some choice with your spot cards, don't play a 9 or an 8. Don't play a 3 or a deuce. Which are very clear. Play a middling card, which basically says to partner, I don't care what you do. Because I'm totally irrelevant on this hand and you're defending on your own. Because we don't want to get partner excited and lead partner down the wrong path. So yeah, sometimes the best thing you can do is, if you follow the trick with a 6 and you're like, I'm just going to be as ambiguous as possible. I mean, it's not ideal, but the fact of the matter is, when you're broke, when you have nothing to contribute to the defense, partners gotta figure this out on their own. And so let's not try and, let's just make sure that we don't steer partner to the wrong place. And if partner gets it wrong, partner gets it wrong. I mean, you can't always help out with the defense as you'd like.
How can you tell when you give your signal that you're hurting yourself by letting declarer know also that you are helping?
Well, I mean, the most important thing is to send the message to partner. And yes, I understand that when you signal, you are also giving declare information as well. But that comes with the territory. It's more important for you to try and get the defense right. In a situation, like we looked at before, where it's going to be okay where it's okay to mislead partner, if you will. Okay. Let's say we have a suit that lies this way, where partner has ace king 4th, and everybody else at the table has 3 cards in that suit, and declare has queen jack 3rd specifically. The moment your partner leads the ace, and that ace is trapping only a small card for declare and not covering it on, is declare now guaranteed of a winner in that suit? Yes, because they're queen and jack. Because you played the ace, and declare got to just play the small one, and queen didn't get covered, jack didn't get covered. If your side has the 10, which is not shown in that layout, it's not getting promoted, right? So you might think to yourself, and let's say with standard carding, let's say we encourage because we don't want partner doing anything different. Did encouraging here really mislead partner or cost anything? No, because all you're getting in that suit is your ace king, and the 3rd round is declares anyhow, and this was already, fait accompli at trick 1 on the opening lead, right? So at this stage, it's fine to encourage, right? So don't worry about the message that you're sending to partner there. You're saying I like it, but I don't have anything in the suit, declare knows what's going on too, right? They're looking at the queen jack and they figure the ace lead came from ace king, as it most often does, right? So, does that address what you're getting at? Yeah, this is all part of what that makes defense so hard. You've got decisions to make, and you know, and that, you know, and once people get into the habit of paying attention to signals, then they start to take every signal very literally, you know, and partner may not, you know, understand that there's a, you know, purpose behind what you're doing and why you're encouraging when you don't have anything in that suit, you know, and that sort of thing. Now we have one other outlier here. These are really the three primary types of signals. We also have our discards. And in particular, the first discard. So opponents are playing a contract in a suit, and they start off by drawing trumps. And presumably if they're in an 8 card or better fit, you or your partner are going to be showing out pretty soon. So as soon as one of you is out of trumps and can't follow suit, this is your first discard opportunity. This becomes an important signal. What is your first discard? I would suggest that your first discard be some type of attitude signal. That's normally what it is. So they're playing 4 spades, they get to drawing the last trump, and you show out. You discard the 9 of clubs. Okay, playing standard, that would tell partner, hey partner, if you get in before I do, play clubs. I have something there. If you can't afford to discard from the suit that you do want led when you make a discard, then you may have to go down a different path. Say, okay, well, I don't have a card where I can send a clear signal from the suit that I actually want partner to lead. So now you might have to pick a different suit and then make a discouraging signal, right? All right, I really want a club lead. I can't afford to play a club. I have king, queen, 10. It's too dangerous to play the 10, right? So what do? Well, discard the 2 of diamonds and tell partner I don't like diamonds. And then it's up to partner to figure out that it's a club you want. Or if you want to defend Anne's way, discard the 6 of diamonds and make partner guess. Give the ambiguous signal, right? So understand that you do have some options. And usually you will have an option, you know, either in the suit that you do want led or in a suit that you don't want led, and then you have to use the negative signal, the discouraging attitude, and then hopefully partner can work it out. I mean, at least you're reducing the choices for partner, right? Because we've eliminated the trump suit, and then we've eliminated a suit that we don't want led. At least we've taken it down to, okay, if partner gets the lead before I do, you know, partner will, you know, has a chance to get it right. They may be picking from 2 suits, and then hopefully they can get some guidance from the dummy. Again, sometimes we go back to, well, what's dummy's weakest suit? Right? Dummy's weakest holding, maybe the suit that you want. And